In the middle of the San Francisco Bay lies an island warehouse where a team of inventors imagines the future and builds it.
It's going to blow your mind.
It's fast-track prototyping. But are 2 weeks long enough to turn wild ideas into reality?
Full speed ahead!
On this episode of Prototype This, the guys search for a way out of gridlock as they try to transform a truck into a traffic-busting machine.
I had a failure.
Can the team put gridlock in their rearview mirrors?
Just get this baby out in the world.
I mean, who thinks of these things?
Find out next on Prototype This.
Yeah, we're going to be a little bit late because we're actually sitting in traffic right now.
I'm an American. I love my car. I love being out on the open road and driving. There's nothing like a great American road trip. But I hate sitting in traffic.
Traffic sucks! I hate traffic. We spend 3.7 billion hours a year in traffic.
Well, traffic sucks. I mean,
Stop driving!
sitting on the freeway, get caught in a stop and go. And then I get to the city. Then I'm in the city, and then I'm stuck in gridlock. And by the time I get there, I'm so frazzled I can't even function any longer.
You should switch to decaf.
And then when you get there, you can't even find parking.
But you hate it when you find a perfectly good spot and it's just a little bit too small.
With the mystery machine neatly parked between the two stunt cars, the guys roll up to the concept table to brainstorm the problem.
All right, guys. Traffic sucks. Parking sucks. Seems like there's something we can do about this. You know, some kind of traffic buster.
I have an idea. If we take a... I got nothing.
Well, what frustrates me when I'm stuck in traffic is seeing all the wasted space up above. I want a car that can rise up and drive over the other cars.
Now I want a car that can go sideways into a parking spot.
You know, and if it's parking sideways and going over cars, might as well have it parked sideways over other cars.
And I'm actually pretty bad at parking, so I think we should have this thing totally autonomous, no human interaction at all. This thing will just park itself.
All right, a car that drives over traffic, parks sideways, and parks over cars sideways, and is fully automated? Yeah, that sounds really easy, guys.
All right, well, we know we have a lot of stuff to do. What do you figure we should give ourselves as far as a time frame? A couple of weeks?
I mean, this is going to require an intensive design effort.
Yeah, that's going to be tight because we have a lot of electronics design to do too.
Not to mention the autonomous parking software and the time to test it in. We're all going to take a piece of this build. Joe's going to work on the control electronics. I'm going to look at the autonomous parking system.
I'm going to work on trying to figure out how to make a car park sideways. And then Terry's going to go join Kevin and work on this lifting mechanism to get the car airborne.
We've come down to Standard Metal Products, talked to Kevin Binker. He has the virtual toy store for machinists.
Well, I got to drill a few holes. I'm trying to decide whether to use that one or that one.
Kevin, I have to talk to you about some design ideas. All right, well, right off the bat, I'm thinking giant legs. I always look at ideas from things that you've seen in films. It'd be great to have a spider walking down the street.
To dream the impossible dream.
Their first idea was a spider-like contraption.
This whole thing would emanate from the bed. It would go over the roof of the truck. I mean, there's enough steel in California to do that, but there's not enough room on this truck to do that, so I had to shoot it down.
With that idea collapsed, they move on to a variation of the scissors lift.
Problem with it is that the scissors lift has to live somewhere. It either has to be in the front or on the side, and that would block either sideways parking or driving over traffic.
The scissors lift can't perform both functions. The traffic buster needs to have freedom of movement in all directions.
The only way to have clearance on the side and in the front is to leave everything open and go with the four-post design. Just like the original truck, there'd be a wheel at each corner of the truck. I got to come up with some way to fold up all of these posts, front and back.
Kevin gets to work designing a fold-up four-post system. 2 posts for the front bumper and 2 for the rear. Back on the island, Mike experiments with a way to lift the car and roll it into a parking spot sideways. Standing in for the 4 posts are 4 off-the-shelf wheels that he's adding 2 off-the-shelf jacks.
So I made a few modifications to an electric jack here. Basically just added a caster to it and a shaft that'll attach to the car. And the idea is pretty simple. Bolts on your car, and then you raise it up. It'll lift the car off its wheels, and then you'll be able to push into a spot. In the end, this may or may not work. The quickest way to see if something will work is just to try it.
Mike sets up another tight parking space, and the team helps him set up the rolling jacks.
We measured this out earlier, actually, and we have about 1.5 inches to spare on either side. There's no way you can parallel park in this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, lift.
Oh, it's working.
They get liftoff,
Uh-oh.
but not for long.
Hey,
Our side's actually...
I had a failure.
The jacks buckle, and the off-the-shelf solution is history. They'll have to find another way to park the traffic buster sideways.
I guess that's the quick and dirty that went a little too dirty. I have a feeling that there might be a better way out there, and I just need to go do a little research right now.
Mike's wheel test was a non-starter, but the next day, he closes in on another idea.
We're going. What you got?
It's pretty cool. It's this Mecanum wheel I found. This is on an Airtrax forklift here. Yeah?
It's like the Willy Wonka forklift.
Look at those wheels, how they rotate in different directions.
Right.
You know, I kind of want to go see one.
So after tracking down the Willy Wonka forklift, Terry and Mike give it a closer look.
This forklift can move in any direction. It can move forwards, backwards, left, right, sideways. You can do pirouettes. This thing's incredible.
That is crazy.
I know.
Terry's in love with the revolutionary wheels, and he wants to borrow more than just the idea.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time to make this, so we have to acquire some.
What would it take to make this?
A strip of bacon, 2 penguins, and a leprechaun.
And how long would it take?
In metric time?
Clearly, Terry's got no intention of reinventing this wheel.
I'm going this way. These are truly a brilliant design. Look out, coming through. This is a perfect starting point for a vehicle that will go into a parking space sideways.
There's just one drawback. These wheels only work at very low speeds. But this is just a prototype to prove a concept, so Mike's sold.
I think we're onto something. We got to get some of these wheels.
But a few days in, they have yet to truly begin.
He's gone mad with sideways power.
This prototype better get up to speed and fast.
Back to work, you.
Coming up,
End of the line.
our prototype hits major delays.
I think we're probably looking at 2-3 days.
And later, Have Couch will travel.
1 chicken, please.
Have fun driving the sofa.
But will the world's first traffic-busting car be as big a hit? The team at Prototype This is sick of too much traffic and not enough parking space.
I hate traffic.
They're trying to get out of gridlock forever by transforming a car into a traffic buster so it can drive over traffic and self-park sideways on top of another car. With the team having already found wheels that can move in any direction, now Terry and guest builder Kevin's plan is put into action, requiring over a ton of welded steel and some seriously heavy lifting. And the best way to get that much lifting power? Hydraulics.
There's a car park around the corner that uses hydraulics to lift cars up. I'm going to go over there, take a look, and see if I can learn something.
These hydraulic stack parkers lift up to 6,000 pounds, but they're huge and unwieldy.
You can see my house from here.
The challenge is to get this much lifting power onto the traffic buster and stay street legal. Back on the island, Joe and Zaz have decked out a golf cart with 4 types of sensors. They're looking for the traffic buster's electronic eyes so it will be able to park itself.
There are tons of different sensors out there, but we've chosen 4 that we need to experiment with for this project.
Infrared sensors. These are used in remote controls and automatic doors.
Ultrasonic sensors, which are used for industrial automation and robotics.
Stereo cameras. These high-tech sensors are used in advanced robots.
And whisker switches, which are just physical switches.
At this point, we're going to keep the human in the loop. We're going to have a blindfolded human, which will be me, driving the golf cart.
About 9 inches.
I'll be listening to the sensor output and trying to navigate the golf cart through the course without crashing into anything.
4 electronic eyes, 2 nerds, 1 crazy scheme.
Commencing blindfold golf cart test.
10-4, good buddy.
So it's off to an indoor go-kart track to try out their 4 self-parking sensors in relative safety. And it's time to start testing.
Basically, I'm going to be driving along with a blindfold. We're going to have various sensors, and they're going to be actually reading out in a voice their results, and just to see if I can drive them. Because if I can't drive it, there's no way we can program a car to do it.
1 lap per sensor should tell them all they need to know. The whisker switch gives little or no warning.
Am I even near the wall?
I don't know. Are you?
Ah!
Front 15 inches.
The infrared's not bad.
Back 18 inches.
The ultrasonics do well.
Stop.
Front 7 inches.
Up to a point.
Center
And the stereo camera is like driving a dream.
left 48 inches.
From the blindfolded driver's point of view, it's nice that you get like left, middle, and right.
Yay! We did it.
I think it's pretty clear that we can't rely on any one of these sensors. We're going to have to use a combination of them. And so I think we should use the stereo cameras and either the infrared or the ultrasonic, and maybe even both.
With Joe and Zaz on the right track to finding an automated parking system, the next day, Terry buzzes into Kevin's shop where he's come to supervise. But always the team player, Terry jumps right in to get his hands dirty.
I had a little too much coffee today, so I'm going to weld fast.
The plan is to lift the truck using 4 posts powered by hydraulics. But where is it all going to fit?
Leaving the posts just sticking up in the air certainly was the obvious way to go, but then you'd obscure your vision. It wouldn't necessarily be legal in a lane of traffic. So folding this up and having some transformer aspect to this machine was critical.
Terry's not convinced.
I have a premonition. Here's what it is.
Whether Terry's vision is true and the truck topples or not, the high lifter's got to be built. So Kevin drafts in his welding team. With an estimated 600 separate welds to be done, there's plenty to keep them busy. Saturday night comes and goes, and the wheels of the prototype industry keep on turning. Then suddenly, they seize up. The air compressor that powers the big machines has failed. The shop falls silent. And on a weekend, there's no way to get a replacement.
So I got 4 guys here working on a Sunday, and what happens? The compressor that has fed me air reliably for 14 years bites the dust.
Without air, this whole project hits the wall. Zaz and Kevin fight to revive the rusty workhorse, but it's breathed its last breath. Meanwhile, back on the island, the guys are ready for the arrival of the team from Air Tracks. A few days ago, Terry and Mike checked out some omnidirectional wheels that would be perfect for their prototype's sideways parking needs.
I think we're onto something. We got to get some of these wheels.
Now, a few days later, the Air Tracks team shows up, but the kit they bring is unassembled.
So was this exciting when you pulled it out of the box?
Yeah, it was. A few things were baffling me, like that. Now, which one goes where?
All we need to do is make this connection.
All right.
And identify these wires and extend them to those modules.
That doesn't sound so bad.
To get it completely done and all wrung out, and I think we're probably looking at 2-3 days.
This is a complete shock to me. I expected them to be able to come in here in an afternoon and get this done. It's a bit of a setback, and I'm still trying to figure out, what to do about it.
With no progress being made on the island, and Zaz and Kevin mourning the loss of Kevin's compressor on the mainland, this build is ground to a halt.
I'm going to write up here on the board, fear when done.
Looks like happy hour could be a long way off. Coming up, the machine shop breathes new life.
Full speed ahead!
But more delays with the wheels leave the prototype dead in its tracks.
Yeah, I'm a little more than stressed at the moment.
This will really put us behind schedule.
And later, the traffic buster is unveiled. But will the crowd like what they see? The team at Prototype This is attempting to build a car that will unlock the key to gridlock by both driving over traffic and parking sideways over another car. The Traffic Buster. But 1 week into a 2-week prototype, the all-important compressor has died at guest builder Kevin's machine shop. And on the island, the omnidirectional wheel kit for the sideways parking arrived unassembled. leaving this build at a standstill. And now, after a 2-day delay, with the guy